Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me start with an important fact that might make you feel uneasy. Most falls in older people are not just accidents. These things don't just happen by chance or because you're getting older. Instead, they are the body's urgent ways of telling you that something deep inside, both physically and mentally, has been ignored. Getting older or moving more slowly isn't the only problem. Most people, including many doctors, miss the real issue at its heart. Under the surface of your awareness is a muscle that you probably haven't heard of or seen in your mirror. But this muscle quietly decides whether you stay strong or give up. It's called the iliopsoas. It doesn't get as much attention as your abs, arms, or calves. It is instead deeply buried behind your abdominal wall and connects your lower back to your thigh bone. In its purest form, it connects your body's stable heart to your ability to move forward in life. Why does this matter? Because a weak iliopsoas can make your posture fall apart, your balance get unstable, and your steps become cautious and unsure. This can happen from years of sitting, not using your muscles, or just not paying attention to them. Then you fall, what seems like out of the blue. It was just an accident, everyone tells you, but the truth is very different. It's the end result of years or even decades of quietly giving up on activities you used to enjoy. A slow decline that's easy to hide under the word aging. But here's a truth that's not often said in doctors' offices. This process is not inevitable. The human body is not meant to just break down over time. It is designed to change, get stronger, and do well, but only if it is pushed in a smart and consistent way. It's too bad that no one tells seniors this. They are instead given walkers and painkillers and told to be careful as if being careful were enough to make them strong, or as if being weak were a virtue to be accepted. This isn't just a problem for one person, it's a moral failure on the part of the healthcare system, guardians, and yes, even the people who are sick. When you tell the truth, you have to be disciplined and take action. You have to stretch, move, and wake up things that have been sleeping for a long time. The iliopsoas needs to be trained, but not in a rough way. It needs to be trained gently, with purpose, and with a bit of courage. This is the paradox. As soon as you start to make something stronger that was weak, your fear of falling starts to go away. Your walking becomes more stable, the pain goes away, your spine realigns, and most importantly, you feel like you have control again. Because this isn't just a real issue, it's also a symbolic one. Your iliopsoas is more than just a muscle, it's a symbol for how we connect, move, and stay alive. The consequences for ignoring it are not just physical, they are spiritual. A fall isn't just going down to the ground, it's a fall into hopelessness, dependence, and giving up. But if you face this weakness straight on, you will get stronger. You move, you get back something you should never have lost. Your freedom, your independence, and your trust. So this is your call, not just to work out, but to fight the story of decline, to fight the quiet comfort of inaction, and to wake up parts of yourself that have been sleeping. Behind every fall is a decision that was made or not made long before the impact. You have the chance to make a different choice today. Many seniors and even some healthcare workers think that falls in old age are just accidents, random events that happen because people are clumsy or because getting older is a natural process. But this way of thinking is dangerously wrong. The iliopsoas muscle, which you probably don't think about, is often to blame when someone falls. It's not a lack of balance, rhythm, or leg strength. This deep inside muscle is very important for being able to stand, walk, and move steadily. It goes from your lower back to your upper leg, connecting your core to your hips and legs. It's involved in almost all of your movements, like walking, running, standing tall, and lifting your legs to bend forward. The iliopsoas supports the spine, keeps the hips stable, and makes sure your body stays straight and balanced. But despite how important it is almost never included in fitness plans, and neither people nor healthcare workers think about it when they think about preventing falls. If you spend a lot of time sitting, or don't do much physical activity, your iliopsoas will get weak or tight. This will make your core less stable. Because of this, you slowly lose your balance and can't make quick changes when you walk or stand. In the long run, this makes it much more likely that you will fall. This doesn't happen all at once. Strength and stability are lost slowly and steadily, and most people don't notice until it's too late. It's hard to notice this decrease, because the iliopsoas muscle doesn't usually give out in a big way. It doesn't show that it's weak by hurting suddenly, or showing other clear signs. Instead, it breaks down in silence, taking away the very base you need to keep your balance and stance. For many older people, this slow weakening shows up as trouble moving. It may be harder for you to keep your back straight, or lift your legs. The way you walk might feel like it's changing. Your steps might become less sure. All of these show that the iliopsoas isn't working right anymore. When you don't use this muscle properly, your body starts to depend on other parts to do the work. Parts that weren't made to handle such weight. This compensation causes the body to be out of balance, making it even less stable and raising the risk of falling even more. Still, this problem isn't often seen in the medical world. Most of the time, seniors who want to avoid falling do general leg strength training and balance routines like walking in a straight line or standing on one foot. Even though these movements are good for you, they don't fix the problem at its source. The iliopsoas, most of the time, these workouts only work on the big muscles in the legs, like the quadriceps, hamstrings, and calves. They don't work on the inner, smaller stabilizing muscles that keep the body in place and connect the upper and lower body. When the iliopsoas isn't specifically worked out, these other routines aren't enough to keep you stable enough to really keep you from falling. This lack of care is a sign of a bigger problem in our healthcare system. We tend to treat symptoms instead of the reasons. Most treatments for seniors focus on outward aids like walkers or canes, or on steps that are taken after a fall, like physical therapy. These methods might work in the short term, but they aren't usually meant to fix the problem that causes falls in the first place. Most of the time, the attention is on dealing with the effects of an accident, rather than fixing the muscle imbalances and weaknesses that make falls more likely in the first place. It's important to avoid this. We can start to take a more proactive approach to preventing falls, now that we know the iliopsoas is the hidden muscle that is so important for balance, stability, and movement. Targeted stretching, strengthening, and mobility drills are some simple workouts that can fix damage done by not using your body for years. With the right care, the iliopsoas can be reactivated and returned to its important job of stabilizing the spine and hip, which lowers the risk of falling and makes it easier to move around. The most important thing to remember is that old age does not mean you will always fall. It is normal for our bodies to get weaker over time, but it is not a natural law that we all have to suffer crippling falls or lose the ability to move around. If we know about the iliopsoas and how important it is for daily movement, we can take direct steps to strengthen and protect it. This will greatly lower the risk of falling. You just need to make a promise to yourself to know what your body needs and to meet those needs as a matter of course as you age in a healthy way. Reopening and strengthening the iliopsoas does more than just keep you from falling. It also gives you back a sense of control and freedom that could be slowly lost otherwise. This isn't just about staying healthy. It's also about taking back control of your body and keeping the energy and strength that will let you live a full life in old age. If you want to keep your body stable, the iliopsoas is the muscle that does it. Ignoring it is not only bad for your health, but it's also a chance to take care of how you age. It's called the body center because it's so important for keeping the core stable and moving freely overall. The iliops muscle starts in the pelvic area, and the pubis muscle starts at the lower spine. Together they make a deep, strong link between the lower spine and the legs. It is well known that muscles like the quads and hamstrings are important for movement. However, the iliopsoas is what holds the body together. You might not notice it because it's not a showy muscle. The iliopsoas is not usually what comes to mind when people think of movement or strength. Not like the arm and leg muscles that you can see, or even the core muscles that you can barely see. There have never been more problems with the iliopsoas muscle than there are now, especially for older people. The way we live now, which is mostly sitting at desks, in cars, and on couches, allows this deep core muscle to slowly weaken. The iliopsoas wasn't designed to be stiff for hours on end. It was made to bend, balance, and support us as we move through all of our ranges of motion. Still, we keep it locked in a short, idle state every day. This isn't just a small problem, it's a fundamental threat to our body's ability to stand up and move around. The iliopsoas gets tight, short, and weak when you sit for long amounts of time. This muscle stops being springy over time, so it can't support your spine and pelvis the way they need to be supported for healthy action. As people get older, they naturally move less and sit down for longer periods of time. As a result, a big drop in the iliopsoas' ability to keep your core stable, which has effects all over your body. Other muscles, like the legs and lower back, try to make up for it, but they're not meant to. The person's posture gets worse, the pain lasts longer, and movements that used to be easy become hard and shaky. As your balance gets worse, the chance of a quick life-changing fall grows. However, this isn't just a fate sealed by old age. People often think the process is so slow that they are just getting older and having normal aches and pains. The real problem is that a muscle that hasn't been used in decades is slowly breaking down. A lot of people don't realize how vulnerable they are until they fall, or when normal things like going up and down stairs, getting out of chairs, and walking across a room become surprisingly hard. The sad thing is that these changes don't have to happen. These things happen because of habits and routines that you can change. If you know what you're doing, you can turn around years of decline. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy that being inactive makes muscles weak and fear of action grow. Seniors are less likely to move around after a fall or accident because they don't want to hurt themselves again. When you don't move around as much, your iliopsoas and other muscles that help you stay upright get weaker. This makes it more likely that you will fall again. As people keep going down this path, they can lose their freedom, confidence, and happiness. It does not need to be this way though. The body is strong, even as it gets older. The iliopsoas can be woken up with focused movement and steady attention. It's not about chasing youth, it's about getting back useful strength and the freedom to live a full life. Sitting too much in our culture is bad for everyone, young and old. Kids and adults alike spend a lot of time in front of computers, which can cause hip and back pain long before old age sets in. Still, the effects are often worst for older people. The body's ability to rebuild muscles slows down, and the effects of being inactive get worse. But the answer is still just around the corner. You can work targeted workouts like hip flexor stretches, controlled leg lifts, gentle yoga poses, and dynamic activities like walking or cycling into your daily life. You don't need any fancy tools or hard workouts to do these. Small regular efforts can slowly recover the iliopsoas' strength and flexibility, which can lead to better posture, balance, and self-esteem. It's important to know the signs of an iliopsoas that isn't working properly or is getting weaker before something bad happens. If your hips feel stiff, your steps are short or shaky, you have trouble getting out of a chair, or you lean forward all the time, it's not just old age. These are all signs that your body's central balancer needs help. Ignoring these signs will only make the problem worse by letting imbalances develop and compensation habits reinforce bad posture and movement that doesn't work well. The spine stays straight, the hip stays balanced, and every step feels lighter and safer when the iliopsoas is strong and flexible. Still, this muscle is missed by too many exercise plans and even physical therapy plans. People often work on building the bigger, more noticeable muscles in their legs, or doing balance exercises that don't get to the root of the problem. People over 65 should stand on one foot, walk from heel to toe, or use resistance bands to work out their hamstrings and quads. Even though these things are good for you, they don't address the iliopsoas, which is the main source of stability. These interventions are like building a house on sand. They look solid on the outside, but they are basically unstable. They don't work or strengthen this muscle. Not taking care of your iliopsoas has effects that go far beyond the risk of a single fall. The body moves out of place as this muscle gets weaker. The hip leans forward, the lower back arches too much, and the upper body leans forward or rounds the shoulders to make up for it. This imbalance isn't just ugly, it's also a biomechanical issue that drains energy, shortens strides, and makes all movements harder. Walking becomes less stable and less effective as the feet start to move around and the knees bend less. Tripping is much more likely to happen, especially for older people whose vision and reaction times may already be slow. The loss of trust that comes with iliopsoas dysfunction may be the sneakiest one. When you don't believe your body can keep you safe and standing, a deep-seated fear of moving takes over. This fear makes people do even less, which lowers the muscle even more. This creates a downward spiral. It doesn't just make people less physically capable, it makes life itself smaller. Things like sports, social events, and even basic self-care can be hard to do. Still, getting back to a place of trust starts with one step, a promise to take consistent targeted action. When you know what the iliopsoas does, you can change the whole talk about getting older and moving around. It's no longer just about dealing with decline or accepting the limitations of old age. Now it's up to you to take action and get back the core power that supports every move you make. You can always make a change, which is good news. It's amazing how well the body can adapt, and with the right method, even long-term muscle imbalances can be fixed. Being aware is the first step. Realizing that many so-called signs of aging, like slouched posture, stumbling, and chronic back pain, are actually signs of an iliopsoas that hasn't been taken care of, is powerful. It means you can handle it. The next step is moving on purpose. Include movements that work on the deep core and the muscles that bend at the hips. Lift your legs slowly and carefully, do gentle lunges, or do yoga moves like the low lunge or bridge pose. The iliopsoas gets longer and stronger through these moves, which makes it better at stabilizing the spine and pelvis. Keep things the same. It takes time for things to change, but if you're patient and work at it every day, you will see results. Most important is the determination to keep moving and pushing the body in smart and safe ways. Even a short amount of time every day can begin to fix years of decline. As the iliopsoas wakes up, you'll notice small but important changes, like being able to get out of a chair more easily, having better balance when standing, and feeling more confident in every step. Don't give up when things move slowly. Every move you make consciously, every stretch, and every lift is a win over laziness. The goal is not to be great, but to get better. Enjoy the little victories along the way, like a straighter back, a longer step, or a day without pain. In other words, these are signs that your body is responding, changing, and getting back to its normal balance and alignment. You can't say enough good things about the iliopsoas. In a sense, it is the foundation of your core. The body as a whole feels bad when it is weak or tight. But when it is strong and bendable, it does a lot more than just keep you from falling. It will make it easier for you to move, ease your pain, and give you a new lease on life. Back pain goes away, posture gets better, and things that used to be hard to do become possible again. Getting back the strength of the iliopsoas may be the most important thing. It gives you back your freedom. You should be able to go through life without worrying about falling, and feel free to enjoy the good things in life. No matter what age, it means keeping your independence, your pride, and your sense of self-worth. If you or someone you care about is slowly losing their health, don't just accept it as a part of life. Start by being aware. Learn about the iliopsoas and pay attention to the small changes in your stance and movement that mean you need to pay attention to it. Then do something. Make this deep stabilizer a normal part of your routine by finding exercises that are safe and work well. If you need to, get help from a skilled physical therapist or fitness worker. But don't wait until there's a problem to step in. Now is the time to act. Start as soon as possible to feel the benefits right away: better balance, more confidence, and a newfound sense of freedom. It might not always be easy, but the trip is always worth it. Remember that getting older does not mean you have to give up. You can change your body, regain your independence, and keep going forward strong and steadily if you know what to do and are committed to doing it every day. As you take that first step, keep this in mind: you're not just stopping yourself from falling. You are laying the groundwork for a future where every step, every stand. One of the worst misconceptions about getting older is that losing your ease, balance, and ability to stand up straight is inevitable. People think that stooping posture, stumbling steps, and hesitant movements are normal. They don't realize that these symptoms aren't just signs of old age, but are often the direct result of not taking care of their iliopsoas muscle. To me, this isn't just about looks or ease, it's about freedom, respect, and quality of life. In every part of your daily life, from how you get out of bed in the morning to how confident you feel in a crowded room, this deep anchor is slowly breaking down. When the iliopsoas starts to break down, the first signs are often very minor. In fact, most people don't even notice them as warnings. It might get harder to go up and down stairs, stiffness when getting out of a chair, or a shortness in your step that you hardly notice. As the upper back tries to make up for it, the hips may tilt forward, pulling the lower spine into a more pronounced arch. This can cause the shoulders to round. These changes don't usually show up as sharp pain or major injuries. Instead, they cause a constant feeling of instability and discomfort that is easy to brush off as just getting older. But these are the body's warning signs that the iliopsoas, which supports posture and movement, has been left to weaken and shorten. Other parts of the body have to take over because this muscle isn't working right. Some muscles, like those in the lower back, hips, and even the legs and feet, start to work too hard because they weren't meant to be so important. Muscle fatigue, misalignment, and overuse accidents happen one after the other. Lower back pain is more frequent, the hips and knees are put under too much stress, and walking goes from being a smooth rhythm to a constant battle with gravity. Each step is taken with more trepidation as the fear of falling grows. This keeps the person from moving, which makes them even weaker. The problem is made worse by the fact that a lot of regular exercise programs and even some well-meaning physical therapy routines don't directly work on the iliopsoas. They might only work out the quadriceps and hamstrings, which are big muscles in the legs, or do balance exercises on the ground, but they might not work out the deep core and hip flexors, which are what really hold you steady. People can spend hours on treadmills, stretching their legs, or even lifting weights, but they never use the muscle that quietly controls how tall they can stand and how confidently they can move. This missed chance is more than just a missed opportunity. For many, it is the only thing that stands between them staying independent and slowly giving up because they are weak. Illnesses of the iliopsoas tend to sneak up on people because they don't show major signs at first. It gets weaker over time, like a slow erosion that lets bad habits and compensation become deeply entrenched. When someone starts to shuffle, feel wobbly, or have trouble keeping their balance, the problem that's been going on for years is often already there. This is why a quick fall, or the start of having trouble moving around, can catch a lot of people off guard. Since the body has lost its primary stabilizer, it can't adjust to the small changes in weight and motion that happen every day. You run the risk of hurting yourself when you do easy things like look behind you, step off a curb, or get up from a low seat. Weakness in the iliopsoas affects a lot more than just movement. When someone's stance gets worse and their confidence drops, their whole sense of who they are can start to change. Things that used to make you happy, like playing with your grandkids, gardening, and going to social events, can now make you feel anxious or embarrassed. Falling is a big fear that keeps people from being physically active, socializing, and feeling good about their own mental health. The real cost of ignoring something is not just a weaker muscle, but a life that is less full. Still, there is hope, and it starts with being aware. The body's amazing ability to change does not go away as we age. Even if you don't use your iliopsoas for years, it can be woken up and retrained, which can bring back a lot of its lost function and steadiness. You need to be consistent, patient, and ready to put quality over number for this process to work. Targeted exercises, like slow controlled leg lifts, hip flexor stretches, gentle lunges, and bridge poses, can gradually make the muscle longer and stronger, making it better able to support the spine and pelvis. Over time, these movements bring the body back into its normal alignment, which lets you move with more confidence and ease. It's important to know the difference between strength on the outside and security at the base. If your iliopsoas is weak, building bigger leg muscles won't make up for it. Even though balance drills are good, they don't fix the imbalances that get worse after years of sitting around and not moving. To make real progress, you need to work on your deep core and hip flexors, as well as your nervous system, and getting it to trust that your body is stable. This isn't an easy fix, but it works incredibly well. The journey starts with small things you do every day. If the right muscles are worked and the movements are done carefully, even a few minutes a day can make a big difference. Stretching and building are both important because an iliopsoas that is too tight can be just as bad as one that is too weak. Together, gentle dynamic stretches and exercises that make the muscle support the body's weight help recover both flexibility and strength. As the iliopsoas muscle starts to work again, balance gets better, steps get longer, and the fear of falling starts to go away. There are more perks than just physical ones. As faith in movement grows, so does a sense of freedom and opportunity. It's easier to make friends and do daily jobs, and the world is once again your oyster. It has a huge effect on your mental health. Being able to walk without fear and trust your body are important skills for living a full, independent life at any age. Of course, the road isn't always straight. Sometimes things go wrong, progress seems slow, or old habits start to creep back. This is fine. Consistency, the will to keep moving, stretching, and working out the core that keeps you going with every step, is what matters most. Getting help from family, friends, or a skilled physical trainer can make all the difference. They can give you support, encouragement, and hold you accountable along the way. The first and most important step in this process is education. There are too many seniors, caregivers, and even healthcare workers who have never heard of the iliopsoas or been told how to take care of it. This lack of knowledge is not only bad, it's also dangerous. We can change the way we think about getting older and moving around by focusing on the iliopsoas and its health and function. It's not enough to treat symptoms or slow down the decline. We need to give people the information and tools they need to keep their core stability and independence. There is good news. The answers are easy for almost everyone to find. There's no need for expensive gear, hard workouts, or long gym sessions. If you do a few simple exercises on a daily basis and with purpose, they can make a huge difference in your stability, confidence, and quality of life. It doesn't matter how good you are or how long you've been inactive. The important thing is to start. The body can always adapt and grow, so it's always ready to take on new tasks. Just think about what your life would be like if you found this hidden source of strength again. Picture yourself going about your day without any problems, walking tall and with confidence, and enjoying the things you love to do to the fullest. This is not a dream. It is a real goal that can be reached by working toward it steadily and gradually. Even if the trip starts with just one stretch or a careful leg lift, each step builds on the one before it, making a base of stability that can support movement for a lifetime. As you decide to follow this road, keep in mind that you are not only avoiding falls, but also regaining your freedom, your confidence, and your happiness. Every minute you spend working out your iliopsoas and making it stronger is an investment in your future. A future where getting older doesn't mean getting worse, but rather a chance to keep living a full and active life. Even when someone is very old, their body can still change in amazing ways. You just need to decide if you are ready to take the first step. To move past fear and resignation and toward a new sense of power is what is being asked of you. Instead of spending a lot of money on treatments or following complicated plans, the key is to focus on the muscles that support you every day. The iliopsoas is waiting to be found again after being lost for so long. Every time you stretch or move with awareness, you not only make your body stronger, but you also change what it means to age. Use what you've learned to take action right now, not tomorrow. You are close to starting the next part of your life, which will be full of security, freedom, and confidence. It will become clear to you that your body's story is not one of inevitable decline, but one of resilience, strength, and endless possibilities, as you stand taller, walk stronger, and move with more confidence. Are you ready to move forward? With information, intention, and the courage to, you can start your journey to long-term stability and self-confidence right now. The iliopsoas is one of the most important muscles in the body, but it is also one of the least known and talked about. This is true even among professionals, whose job it is to protect health and mobility. People often don't pay attention to this muscle, even though it is very important for our stance, walking, and sense of balance. The arms and quadriceps are obvious muscles that move and flex when we do things. But the iliopsoas is hidden. It's deep in the core and does the important work of keeping us upright, aligning our spine, and connecting the upper and lower bodies. The price of this carelessness is high.
And you can see it everywhere: the shaky steps, hunched shoulders, and hesitant steps, the growing need for canes and walkers, and the widespread fear of falling that many seniors feel.
This mistake is very sad because it not only hurts the person's health, but it also has a huge effect on their mental health. People lose their freedom slowly when they don't trust their bodies and feel unsafe when they move. People avoid social events and give up their best hobbies, and the world slowly gets smaller until it's just one room. Losing this perspective is more than just losing the ability to move around. It's also losing freedom, confidence, and joy. Even so, all of this can be stopped. The idea that getting older means getting worse is not only false, it's also very damaging. The body is strong and can change and grow at any age as long as you give it the right knowledge and some push. Awareness is the first thing that needs to be done to stop this slide. What it means to age well changes when you realize that the ellipse is the key to balance and steadiness. We don't have to accept the quiet, slow loss of strength as something that will always happen. We can see it for what it is, a call to action. The answer is not secret, but the muscle is. You can wake up the ellipse by doing focused movements, paying attention all the time, and moving with awareness. This awakening doesn't need expensive gear, a lot of gym time, or high hopes that aren't realistic. It can start to get stronger and more flexible with simple daily tasks like leg raises, gentle hip flexor stretches, yoga moves like the low lunge and warrior, or even just standing up straight from a chair. But it's not enough to just know things. We need to take action that is deliberate, constant, and patient. Start with what you can do and where you are now. At first, progress may be slow, but every stretch and effort to work the ellipse is a step toward regaining trust and strength. Over time, amazing things happen. Posture gets better, steps become safer, and balance is recovered. As the fear of falling goes away, a new sense of opportunity takes its place. Making growth like this has benefits that spread to all parts of life. Things that were hard at first, like going up and down stairs, walking in the park, and getting in and out of a car, become easy and even fun. Opportunities for socializing grow, not shrink. The body gets back to being able to move and play on its own. The mind is freed from the constant worry that limits the lives of many adults, which is the most important thing. It's a fact that the ellipse is a key part of core steadiness and balance. If you don't take care of it, every other system has to make up for it, which can cause imbalance, pain, and a higher risk of injury. The body works better as a whole when it is strong and flexible. It's easier to move because alignment is restored and energy is saved. Once the ellipse is healthy again, even chronic pain, often thought to be caused by arthritis or just getting old, can be greatly reduced or gone. Even though this is clear, most programs that try to keep people from falling still focus on quick fixes like canes, walkers, leg strengthening exercises, and balance drills that don't get to the root of the problem. It's time to change how you see things. To really prevent something, you have to deal with the cause, not just the symptoms. It means giving people the information and tools they need to take charge of their own bodies, instead of just managing their decline. The first step toward this empowerment is knowledge. Seniors, caregivers, and healthcare professionals should all learn to spot the signs of ellipse dysfunction, which include hip pain, trouble getting out of a chair, leaning forward, walking less quickly, or feeling unstable all the time. In fact, these are not just normal signs of getting older. They mean that the body's core balancer needs work. As soon as these signs are noticed, specific help can be given. It doesn't have to be hard to do workouts that strengthen and lengthen the ellipse. Simple yoga moves that focus on the core, lunges that are easy on the joints, and stretches for the hip flexors can all help. The important thing is to be consistent. Short, daily exercise is much more effective than short bursts of effort here and there. People who have trouble moving around can benefit from workouts that are done while sitting or lying down, as long as they are done carefully and with the right form. It's also important to change the ways of thinking that keep you from being active. There is a real fear of falling, but the best way to deal with it is not to limit your movements, but to get stronger and more stable, so you can feel safe. Getting help from family, friends, or a physical therapist can be very helpful. Support, accountability, and talking about your success can make the journey easier and more fun. It turns out that the story of the Iliopsoas is a story about strength and hope. It is true that the muscle is hidden and that its loss is easy to miss, but almost everyone can find a way to solve the problem. Getting better doesn't depend on your age. If anything, it's a sign to put money into the things that hold your life together. Even years of decline can be turned around with a little knowledge, some patience, and a lot of drive. Imagine being able to get up from a chair without any trouble, walk across a room without any fear, or go out into the world without any fear. Imagine getting back not only your balance, but also your freedom, your happiness, and your sense of who you are. When the Iliopsoas gets the care it needs, this is what can happen. Now is the time for you to act. Don't believe the story of decline. Question: pay attention to your body's needs now, not when you're in a tight spot. Today is the day to act, whether you are a senior who wants to stay independent, a caregiver who wants to help a loved one, or a health worker who wants to make a real difference. It may not be easy, and growth may be slow at times, but every step counts. Every time you stretch, move slowly, and pay attention to your Iliopsoas, you move away from fear and weakness, and toward freedom and health. It's up to you to change your story, stand higher, walk with confidence, and take back the freedom that was born to you. Do not forget that the Iliopsoas is more than just a muscle. The way you move, stand, stay stable, and feel free all depend on it. Bringing this secret anchor into the light, and caring for, stretching, and strengthening it will not only keep you from falling, but it will also help you build a future full of strength, resilience, and joy. So get up, move forward, take charge of what your body can do. You are the author of the next story. It will be about how you stand tall, walk with pride, and enjoy every day to the fullest. You have the power to choose, and the trip starts now.